Hey, some friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Symptomistic, like optimistic, but make it Sims. And we are back with another episode of Nova Curious Stuck in the Shadows. And if you're unfamiliar with these scenarios, these are scenarios that are in the game, and I just put a little storyline on it. So, what's going on today is that our boy, well, I guess not our boy, but kind of our enemy slash frenemy, Lewis, has been fired. He is coming over to talk, but he's very upset. And yes, let me lock my computer because we don't really know how we feel about Lewis at this time. Nova's just trying to figure out her career, and they both work in a tech career. If this is like your first time watching this or you are unfamiliar with this scenario, and he wants to talk about him being fired. Meanwhile, Nova was just hanging out in her beautiful backyard and looking up at the sky. And we've seen Lewis around and stuff at work, but the last time we were filming, we kind of got into an argument with him at the gym. He was just really frustrated, I guess, about what's going on in his career, and Nova felt like he was blaming her for everything. And now she kind of sees that he's having like a pretty difficult time, and maybe that frustration was a little misplaced, and she kind of feels bad. Like, it's scary to be fired, so she's gonna kind of like try to lighten the mood a little bit and just talk to him and kind of like, let's just forget about work. She's gonna tell him, like, you are a very talented programmer, you're gonna be fine, you'll find another job, we're early in our career. And look at that. She's already like boosted his confidence, and he really appreciates her being there for him, even though he, might have been a little rude, but they've known each other forever. So I think they're just gonna hang out for a little bit and just reminisce on like old times before when their competition felt a little more friendly than it used to. And we still don't really mess with Keenan after the date that Nova and him went on. It just didn't go well, so she's kind of not interested in Keenan anymore. Oh, and I forgot Lewis brought over pizza, which honestly is really nice after being fired that he sprung for pizza for both of them. I mean, I know it's just pizza, but that's nice. Pizza these days is pretty expensive, especially, where Nova and Lewis live. And so, as you can see, Lewis just doesn't really want to deal with any other loss right now. He just wants to feel safe and connected to someone. So, Nova's gonna tease him a little bit, but they're just going to have a good time and enjoy some of this pizza and kind of just forget about the day, reminiscing on memories and how they used to get into trouble when they were little. And apparently she has a cousin named Taicho. I don't know if that's an interesting character to write into this storyline. We know nothing about Taicho, but maybe he'll come up further into the scenario. That would be really interesting. I do like that The Sims kind of like built this whole thing out a little bit. And, it's not just these two Sims. It feels like there's like a whole backstory that we don't really know about. And so it was a really nice night. And after pizza, they just decided to like lay in the grass like they used to when they were kids and kind of look up at the stars and just talk about how things are so complicated being young adults in these worlds, and they, are kind of finding their way. So it was like a really sweet moment for them to have. Fall weather in Oasis Springs is unpredictable, about as unpredictable as Lewis and Nova's relationship, because it was really nice, but now at like 1:45 it started snowing, which is pretty strange, and Lewis is kind of going back and forth with Nova about, I think they both had too much to drink. Let's just say that they did have some drinks, and I think ultimately Lewis is jealous of Nova, and they're fighting a little bit at this point. It's not even like coherent. He's nodding off, like he's just spewing things at her like, you tried to sabotage me. You distracted the whole team when you came in, and I don't appreciate that. You're supposed to be my friend. You should have played the background. And just a lot of jealousy coming Nova's way. And it really sucks because it seems like they have a bond. They had a good time tonight, and once they got some drinks in them, it was just back to a hot mess again. It is kind of late, and Lewis doesn't really want to get on the road being upset. So that now they're trying to kind of de-escalate things. And I guess it's again the liquid courage and a little bit of the flames and the music, the flames, the fireplace and the music. And I think they do have like an underlying like attraction to each other, but I personally would not advise Nova to go down this route. I feel like Lewis is jealous of her as much as he likes her. I think he also kind of wants to be her, and I don't think that is going to make for the best relationship, but I like to allow my Sims some autonomy, so we will kind of see where this goes, and I will just play into what they already want to do. Apparently, they are having their first kiss. So, after talking for, I feel like it's been hours, I feel like Lewis came over probably a little bit after work, and now it's 3:40 in the morning. And yeah, that it's an interesting kiss, but then it's also kind of awkward. So it looks like Lewis like was looking at his phone nervously. But Nova enjoyed the kiss. She's feeling great. So after a little more kissing, it is time to go to sleep. Nova is tired, and Lewis decides to be a gentleman and sleep on the couch. I also think Nova is kind of sobering up a little bit, and she is a little overwhelmed by all that's happened, and she might not go into the office tomorrow because one, it's so late, but two, it's this is just kind of shocking. So it's been some time since she started on the job. She's not new, so time to take a personal day. This is Nova's first personal day of her career, so she didn't really know what to do. And she was just kind of like browsing the web, and she came across this guy that teaches yoga. And she figured, why not? Maybe this is like a way to take her mind off of things and kind of just like get out of her head and more into her body. The thing that she was surprised about was that the instructor was so attractive. She did not expect him to be attractive, and that is a little distracting, but she is willing to try some yoga. And if you are an OG Sim friend and have been watching my channel for a long time, you will recognize that this is Marsh, and he is a Sim that I created as part of the Founders World, but also like with the Spa Day refresh. And I won't spoil it, I won't tell you too much about him, at least at this second. Well, maybe I will. Basically, Marsh is poly with his girlfriend. They live in what is that? Evergreen Harbor, and they are a couple. They're both like entrepreneurial, and they're just like a really cool couple. And so he has an open relationship, but that is his main person. So I don't know what'll happen with him and Nova. There is a attraction there on both parts. And yeah, this is just a really cute moment of them doing yoga in the park. That's the joy of Oasis Springs. It's always warm, and it's nice to just like have this space to do yoga. Marsh is like budding entrepreneurial, so he doesn't have like a place to do yoga. He's probably not even that great of an instructor, but Nova doesn't know any better, so hopefully he can build up his skills, because that's why him and his girlfriend moved here. Well, to this save file anyway. They are both feeling great after that yoga session, and so they decided to just change clothes and talk a little bit about what brought them to this new world, sit by this little lake in the park, and it looks like they're bonding. Nova feels really good after her first yoga session, and Marsh is kind of like boosting her head up a little bit, like he's impressed that she's into like all this tech stuff. And they decide to go back to Nova's place, and it escalates really quickly. Like, I think Marsh is kind of a free spirit and Nova is just really attracted to Marsh. Now, I have no clue what this means for Lewis. Like, she is also kind of trying to distract herself from thinking about what this means with Lewis. And she's also like, I'm new here. Lewis and I fight all the time. Nova doesn't know what she's doing. But while she is hanging out with Marsh, Lewis calls, and he kind of has this idea that they start their own company. And it's Nova, as much as she is close with Lewis, she's not going to do this. She's not comfortable with it. She knows that this may be a reaction to him getting fired, and she's just not ready to be in some kind of business with Lewis. But it does get her to thinking about like what is her career long term? Like, does she really just want to like work her way up this ladder, or does she want to go out and do her own thing? And so that's something that we will explore as we continue this scenario, which is turning out to be longer than I thought it would be. Nova and Marsh continue their hangout and they continue to flirt. It doesn't really go beyond kissing or anything like that. But I think this day off didn't take Nova fully out of her head. Now she feels like even more chaotic. So she has decided that it is time to take a trip because she took a personal day right before the weekend started. And she also did a little shopping. So I just wanted to show you her outfit that she bought before her trip. And she is going to Mount Komorebi. And I do not get to play in Mount Komorebi very much. And she got a little home there that she's renting. And she's decided to take this time to kind of walk and clear her mind. It looks beautiful in the fall. Fall is symbolic of a transition, and I think Nova is in a place where she wants to transition. She just doesn't kind of know what direction she's going in. And as you might have saw from the notification, she is still thinking about Marsh, and she just never felt like this like instantaneous like attraction to someone before, and she knows she's supposed to focus on her career. It's just a lot is happening, and she's here to figure that out and figure out what's next for her. Hopefully the time away will help her kind of get things together. Everything looks so beautiful here. Ignore me while I'm getting screenshots because I'm like, the leaves are just so beautiful. Also, I forgot to mention while I was in cast that this outfit, I'm pretty sure this outfit is completely base game except for the sneakers, and I'm obsessed. Like, I feel like this must have been one of the recent base game jackets added on because I feel like the details do not look like this is like 7-year-old details. Anyway, we will only be in Mount Komorebi for 2 days because, Nova is not rich yet. So she's still figuring out, she's still not spending that much money, but it's a nice little trip away from home. And a lot has happened in this episode. I can't wait to hear what everyone thinks. Please leave comments so we can discuss. Like if you like videos like this, subscribe if you love videos like this. It looks like Nova got caught in the rain. So yeah, we need to wrap this up. Thank you for watching. Bye, some friends.